Hello and welcome back. We're going to continue to add to our cake drawing today. So we are doing this in Inkscape. So I'm going to go ahead and type in Inkscape, and when the program pops up there, I'll click on it in the list. Now, as a reference, here it is, it's popped up. So I'm going to grab my project that I'm working on and I'm going to hit load. And I will tell you that I did some work on this. So the last time we were together, I ended with something that looks like this, a very flat top, and I didn't quite have all the layers done in the exterior part of the cake. So I did some work and I added, and I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. And I added all of this detail here at the top, and I finished out my layers over here on the bottom. So it's just a matter of continuing to add. Now, with multiple shapes like this, I did find that it is easier. I'm going to zoom in here, and you want to think about working from the back or the furthest layer away first. So I'm going to start with my Bezier pen tool, and I'm going to come back here and I'm going to kind of make one of these round tufts of icing. And when I get close, I'm going to double click. Okay, and with that tuft of icing there, I'm going to go ahead and fill it with a color. Oops, let me select it so that it knows what to fill here. That shape, and I'm going to fill it. And I'm going to fill it with a color here for my icing. That's a little green. Try that again. That's a little white. Okay, that's kind of a gray, but that'll work for right now. So that's going to be my first shape before I feel 100% good about that shape. I am going to come in with my Edit Paths by Nodes tool and curve out some of these edges. Now, remember, this only works well. Oh, right there's one of these examples that I wanted to talk to you about. This only really works well if you are using that single click method. If you click and drag, you end up with slightly odd nodes here. I'm going to delete that one for right now, and I will show you what I mean here. Okay, so that's going to be that first shape, and I will go back to my pen tool, and I will then start to draw the next one. This one's going to overlap on this side and overlap on this side. So I'm going to start here, overlap it a little bit, creating an interesting shape, being sure to single click, drawing with straight lines to begin with, and connect it. Something funky happened down here, so we'll address that too. I'm going to get my node editing and fill it. It'll remember the color, so I don't have to keep doing that. That's just nice. I'm going to zoom in. I've got two nodes here that are super close together, and it kind of didn't know what to do with them, so I'm just going to pull that one apart and start to round this out because my icing should be round and not pointed as it goes around the cake. All right, so that's perfectly fine on this one. So what do I mean when I say make sure you're using your regular click and your drawing? So I'm going to use my regular click here, and I'm going to start. So start, click, into the shape to overlap, come down around the edge. Now, the second part of this shape, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click and drag, and click and drag, and click and drag, and click and drag. And then I'll come back to the beginning and double click. So this part of the shape I used my rounding tools, which actually worked out pretty well for this section. But when I go to use my Edit Nodes tool, these nodes will act differently when I try to grab the line. Do you see how they want to go in opposite directions? Same thing down here. If I grab the line, it wants to go. If I pull this way, it's going to push that way. So just know that if you click and drag, they're going to act differently. If I just click and it's a straight line, it's not going to affect any other the segments between those nodes. So something to consider as you are drawing is making sure, are you going to make sure, whoa, come back in here. Are you going to make sure that you are drawing those straight lines? And this got a little bit crazy here. I'm going to take out this node right here and then pull this back in. And I don't exactly, I kind of like this one better. So with this shape here, I'm going to fill it. And then I'm going to go to, on this shape, I'm going to go to right click and layers and objects. It's going to put it over here. And then I can actually see every object. If I click on it, it gets selected. So if I have this, and if I do the same thing here, I can use my selection tool and I can select this shape and I want it to be on top. So I'm going to come over here to the layers and objects and I'm going to move it to the top. So now it's on top of the one beneath it. And so you can kind of build things out that way. So I'm just going to keep drawing these curvy shapes for my icing tufts that are on top of my cake, using that method of clicking straight lines and then fill. Got to be selected to fill. And if I need to edit, I can grab my lines and edit. Once I'm all done editing, I did this on my other example. Let me zoom back out. What I can do is select with the selection tool. I can draw a box. Oops, that's going to move that one like this, and it'll select multiple pieces and I can move them. I can also click on one, hold the shift button, and click on the next and the next and the next so that they're all selected and then move them. So once I get all of those moved, I can then move them back over and put them here on my cake. I could do like a second layer even if I wanted to in my design. But that's kind of how I started and created the icing that you see here down at the bottom. So use your time to continue to add details today and create all of the different shapes to build out your cake design. If you do have any concerns or questions, please reach out and let me know. You can always get me through email. And then at this point, when I am happy, I'm going to go File, Save, because this program does not automatically save, so we want to make sure we are saving between steps. And then I'm going to put on the screen what I've been working on, and I'm going to take a beautiful screenshot. Okay, and then you can, once you have your screenshot, you can label this screenshot. I'm going to go Save. And this ends up being a continuation. So it's 10.06. And I can go 0.2. It's the second day of that. Screenshot. So I have it. Okay, and there you have it. I have my screenshot. I've saved my file, and I am continuing to work and adjust colors. But that gives you an idea of where we're at right now. If you do have any questions again, please feel free to reach out. Keep drawing, and I will see you there next time.